So what you're about to see happened, was it 7 years ago now?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Alex was just healing from an injury. We couldn't do any mountain biking, so we decided to do a road ride to Key West, and it ended up being treacherous. Just see for yourself. This is mile marker 0 off Route US 1. It symbolizes the southernmost point in the continental US, but clearly the house behind it is further south. To me, the real reason to visit mile marker 0 is to drive through the Florida Keys. From downtown Miami, it's an epic 3-hour drive, starting with skyscrapers and ending in 7-mile-long bridges through the Caribbean, or the Gulf of Mexico depending on which car window you're looking out of. The final stop is Key West, and it's worth the trip. If you like coconut trees, flip-flops, and stiff drinks, you may find no better place. Of course, relaxation was the last thing on my mind when I agreed to pedal to Key West from my house in Fort Lauderdale. This is actually not bad right here. Little bungee around my stem. Brakes still work, shifters still feel okay. I'm pretty sure it was Alex's crazy idea, and who could blame him? The poor guy has been off his mountain bike since November when he dislocated his shoulder. A road bike adventure through the flattest state in the nation would be a piece of cake. So we threw caution to the wind, did absolutely no research, and retrofitted our road bikes with racks and luggage. I guess a tent would be a nice thing to have.
I mean, without the tent, A, mosquitoes.
Yeah, the mosquitoes are bad.
B, if it were to rain, that would make for a really not fun night.
Alright, so we need the tent. Alex had a lot of camping experience, and I went through a road biking phase a few years back. I was no stranger to high mileage. 200 miles in 3 days would be easy. So the goal for day 1 would be a campsite 90 miles away in Key Largo. As we set out from my house in high spirits, we had no idea how quickly we would be humbled. Alex and I fell short of Key Largo by over 40 miles on day 1. Allow me to summarize why that was the case. Reason 1. Roadie miles and bikepacking miles are not the same. When you ride for training or for the sake of riding, you choose your favorite route. We were forced to ride through Fort Lauderdale, Hollywood, Hollandale, all of Miami, and Homestead, encountering ridiculous amounts of stoplights, traffic, glass, and general treachery. This sucks! We were moving at a snail's pace, which leads into reason number 2. The worst route ever. Go! I used Google Maps to plan a route and tapped the little bicycle icon. This is great for finding the closest bikeway, but terrible for finding directions.
I think we gotta make a left.
Rather than have you ride for a mile on a less than ideal road, Google would rather you get on a ferry.
Our situation just got so much better.
Sometimes it would want us to take a bikeway for a few miles, make a U-turn, and backtrack a mile to get on another bikeway. This instead of just hopping over one median. For the record, I now know the best route, but I can't go back in time to Wednesday afternoon. Which brings us to reason number 3, a late start. We did some preparation in the morning and moseyed on down to the coffee shop. We didn't start pedaling until around 11 since we wanted to wait until rush hour was over. I don't know why it didn't click that we'd be in South Miami during the second rush hour. Since my calculations were based on roadie miles, I figured we'd be in the Keys by then. But I didn't account for all the stops, crap loads of extra weight, and reason number 4. Mechanical problems. For the record, I did one thing right, and that was to buy 2 really good brand new tires and a reasonably sturdy rack with panniers. Alexander's bike was straight f***ed. His tires were really old and his rack consisted of 2 backpacks and 14 bungee cords. The only thing on his bike that worked consistently was the horn.
Morning.
Alex kept getting flats on his rear tire, and it took forever to take the wheel on and off the bike due to the rear rack. Between stops to fix the rack, multiple flats, and a detour to restock our supplies, we burnt through 2 hours of daylight, which brings me to reason number 5. bad luck, which I admit is sort of a cop-out for bad planning. Google Maps led us to a really jagged and rough fire road, which was out of the question considering Alex's tire issues. So we tried to find a way around it and found ourselves trapped.
Yeah. That's definitely not it. What's that? This road right here is too dangerous.
I was gonna do it, but Alex was actually the voice of reason. He might have saved both of our lives. During the day, maybe. At night, it was sketchy.
We gotta just find a place to crash for the night.
So, 40 miles from Key Largo, we decided to throw in the towel. Luckily, motels in Homestead are about the same price as tent sites in the Keys.
Oh, there's one thing I forgot to tell you about the Deluxe Inn Motel, is that the Yelp reviewers were not very generous with it.
We were pretty bummed out and admittedly doubtful that we would get to Key West on time. Both of us were on a time constraint and our day 2 was looking grimmer and grimmer by the minute.
Alright, I'll go get us a room. There it goes. Dude, this ain't bad. And this costs as much as the campsite.
After 50 miles of arduous urban pedaling, we needed something to boost our spirits.
Well-deserved meal. We've been eating Cliff Bars and f***ing birdseed all day.
Our goal for the following day would be to make it to Key Largo and keep pushing all the way to Marathon by the end of the day. That was a lofty 80-mile goal for day 2. Would we make it? Awake and ready to make up for lost time, Alex and I set a goal of 80 miles for day 2. That would put us in Marathon, about 50 miles from Key West. Almost immediately, Alex's tire came back to haunt us.
The McDonald's is over yonder, and there's a Walmart right there.
This is actually pretty lucky.
Yeah, so we're gonna buy him a new tire. It's not gonna be the greatest tire in the world, but you know what?
Better than this.
This is like a Walmart grocery store. Dude, well, we're gonna have to fix it.
Let's actually look at this dude and see.
Yes.
Like, are we wasting our time with this tire?
Dude, we're definitely wasting our time with this tire, but we don't really have a choice.
We thought we saw a Walmart, but it ended up just being a grocery store. It turned out that they wouldn't have had a tire anyway.
And what does it say the measurements are on that?
After searching the inventory of every big box store we could think of, we discovered that nobody carries anything narrower than 32. To get to a real bike shop, one of us would need to backtrack for 10 miles, buy a tire, and ride 10 miles south again to make the repair. That is, after waiting for the shop to open.
This was like a nasty bowl.
Okay, there we go. I see that.
Nasty
it's a slash.
bubble.
It's not just a puncture.
It's terrible.
And that makes it tough.
Yeah. Make sure it's spread around really good. Give it a couple minutes to dry. We decided to take our chances with an emergency sidewall repair.
Alright, so we got good news and bad news this morning. The bad news is that we just blew like basically 2 hours. But the good news is we get to ride on this busway. It's pretty nice. We don't have to deal with cars. We don't have to deal with any BS. Whoa, watch the glass.
With Alex's bike cobbled together, we got on a path adjacent to the busway.
Dude, compared to the part of the bikeway we were on before, this is like the Swiss Alps.
We were already off to a bad start and still almost 80 miles away from Marathon. At least we had some breathing room on the bikeway.
Morning.
Alex's tire was holding up too, but our repair had yet to face its most trying test. The busway ended, and ahead of us was a long road that led to the Keys. First, a black diamond road biking segment.
Super sketchy piece of roadway right here. And then we're getting back into a kind of a bike safe area. It's not even that this is that bad of a road, it's that people are not used to seeing bikes and they're all going like 90.
We got on Card Sound Road and settled in for 15 miles of straight pedaling with no tree cover.
Such a nice road. It's so smooth. It's so smooth, there's no glass. No bus stops. We're just gonna ride straight like all freaking day now.
Holy if this is what we get to ride on.
If Alex's sidewall blew out, we'd be totally fucked. There was no shoulder either, but the cars were few and gave us plenty of space.
Yeah, usually they've been cool. Like that guy was going a $120, but at least he went into the other lane.
Eventually, there was a curve in the road which gave way to our biggest morale booster yet.
Dude, we gotta get a shot right here.
We were officially in the Florida Keys. After filling up our water bottles and eating some more birdseed, we got back on our bikes to cross Card Sound.
Good stuff. See you later.
You get past my workers, get over in the cone.
Thank you. They said that once we get past the workers, we can get over into the cones.
Hey, watch out, watch out. That dude was not patient.
No.
Wow.
Cool as hell.
There's nothing like going from urban hell to swamp to beautiful Caribbean waters. Our next stop was Key Largo to find a tire for Alex. We had a little over an hour of pedaling left to get there, and still over 60 miles to Marathon. This would be a long day.
Oh look, they got a nice little ramp.
Although my touring setup wasn't as bare bones as Alex's, it was far from high end. My sleeping bag, rack, and trunk bag were around $65 combined. The rack was worth every bit of $22, but it wasn't lightweight and it could have been stiffer. I had also bought 2 brand new Continental Ultra Sport tires, which I ordered in a 25 width. They weren't particularly lightweight, but for the price, I give them a 10 in every category. So, although I did spend a few bucks on my setup, it was far from a major investment. I'd say that $1 of preparation is worth 5 on the road.
We're looking for a 700 by 25 tire.
Presta tire?
Yeah, just tire.
What's do you have all the continentals?
This would have been a good thing to have.
Piece of your old tube.
We had a big one, and we used Gorilla Tape, a patch, and like a piece of cardboard, and it got us here, so.
Well, you can use, I've even on my road bike, like a dollar bill trick, just roll up.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
I know that one. That's a good one. That guy was super chill.
Dude, everybody in the
I like
Keys, super laid back in the Keys. Like, you can walk into the fanciest restaurant you've ever seen with flip-flops on.
Lucky for us, All Keys Cycles was super fair. After buying a new tire, we decided to run Alex's old one until it went flat. It was holding up, and there was only one way to find out how long it could last. We headed to Publix to grab enough food for the day, and got back on the road to put down some miles.
Mile 88, huh?
Although we were feeling pretty beat, everything in the Keys was better than Dade County. The roads were bike-friendly, the people were more laid back, and the scenery was way nicer. With such a nice change of pace, it was tempting to fall off track. In Isle Morada, we gave in to temptation.
There's Isle Morada Brewery.
Oh, dude, we should stop and have a beer.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
Although we couldn't afford to waste 40 minutes at the brewery, we were officially on island time. Having a beer made me feel like sitting around more, but we had pedaling to do. It looked like the roads would be safe enough to travel at night, so it was marathon or bust. We had no clue where we would spend the night, but we'd figure it out. As we rode through Isle Morada, the islands got more scattered and connected by bridges. When Alex and I imagined our trip, I think this is what we were both envisioning. Clear water, coconut trees, and mailboxes shaped like sea mammals. We were beat the hell up and our taints were sore, but things were finally going our way.
See you later, Isle Morada. Peace. Peace out, Cub Scouts.
It looked like we would make it to Marathon after all. Tune in next time to see if we did.
Oh, dude! Dude! Oh. Hey, that was a pretty sweet bike route right there. Oh, dude! Dude! Are you alright?
As most of you know, Alex dislocated his shoulder a few months ago. We had to figure out how to pop it back in on the side of a trail.
Keep going, just like incremental pull.
Woo!
Since then, Alex's main goal has been to not fuck his shoulder up.
Dude! Oh, oh! Holy shit. Did it dislocate again, or is it like...
No, it's in, but it hurts so bad.
Oh! Oh!
Right on it.
I just realized we missed the bike lane.
Oh!
I slowed down, Alex wasn't near his brake levers, and you know the rest of the story. Collisions are always worse for the rider at the back. Luckily, we'd be back on the road after a breather. Time to get moving again. We needed to find a campsite, and bad.
So the reality is set in that we might not find a campsite tonight. We're stopping at every RV park everywhere. And we should have just reserved something earlier today, but the truth is,
We didn't know where we were gonna be.
we don't know where we're gonna be. We don't know whether we're gonna have a technical problem. We don't know how far we're gonna get.
Deep in the Keys, there's no such thing as motels, only beach resorts. One night's sleep for a king's ransom was out of the question.
All right, so I think this is Curry Hammock State Park. Is that somebody who works here? Here, maybe this is somebody we can talk to. Yeah, actually. Oh, sorry, let me not shine this in your face. Are there campsites here?
Oh, we are full up though.
You're filled up?
But you guys are pretty.
Pretty what?
That's a bad place to leave off. Yeah, if you want, you have tents, right?
Yeah.
We have a tent, yeah.
Just follow the road all the way down to the main parking lot and tent out there. Either be gone by the time it opens or you'll have to come up and pay.
I'm down to come up and pay. I have no
Okay,
problem
then,
with
yeah,
that.
it'll be
I'm down to leave
$21.50.
before it opens.
If you're off on the road by then, nobody will even question it.
That's man.
All right, man.
Yep.
Have a good night.
You too.
He didn't have to tell us twice. We pitched Alex's backpacking tent and laid head to toe like sardines. It was damp, hot, and God forbid one of us passed gas. There was no breeze. It's a miracle either of us slept, but outside the tent was a hungry cloud of mosquitoes waiting to chew our balls off. Alex and I share a disdain for mosquitoes and a love for coffee. So at the crack of dawn, we efficiently dismantled our campsite and got the f*** out of there as fast as possible. We barely even noticed the amazing waterfront view.
All right, we're heading out. This is the final day. This is when we get to Key West. And you know what? This is the earliest that we've set out.
It's worth noting, we're gonna get out and not have to pay.
Alex saw a sign for McDonald's and we got all excited because we know they have decent coffee. Nah.
And it's got a table outside.
Maybe I can find another caper and make it look like it's got eyes.
That'd be funny.
He's like, "Meh."
Wow, this looks like a healthy one over here.
After drinking coffee and scarfing down bagels, we stopped at the gas station for PRDs. It was there that I shot this video with my cell phone to send to a friend. My camcorder, charger, microphone, cables, cell phone cables, connectors, all sorts of stuff. A couple of Cliff Bars, my other GoPro, some more food. This is my light battery, which has a USB charger in it. Rear facing camera, helmet camera. These are the tent poles. Why is this f***ing thing loose? Oh God. That's not good. That's not good at all. When installing my rack, I ended up with some extra hardware, which I stashed in my patch kit just in case. I'm glad I did, because we were about to brave the final challenge of the journey, the 7-mile bridge. You can take a wild guess at how long that is.
Very windy. Wow. We can't even come close to seeing the end of this.
With some of the best scenery in the Florida Keys, it's easy to imagine motorists Instagramming instead of driving. What's worse, the shoulder was littered with debris. If either of us flatted, it would be a terrifying repair.
We're nearing the end. Oh man, that was 7 miles. It started near the 47-mile marker, ended at 40.
Aside from the speeding cars and crappy surface, the 7-mile bridge was pretty spectacular. The bridge next to it was built in the early 20th century as part of the Overseas Railway. It's still open to pedestrians, although they can't make it all the way across. There was a light at the end of the tunnel. We pressed on and stopped about 20 miles from Key West to fuel up. It was there that we met this guy.
So do you have like a thing to plug it into, or you have spade connectors or something?
Yeah, it's just my buddy made up a connector.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
And it's like these batteries, that's like the most bang you can get for the buck. So
Okay.
this you can get almost 10 miles out of.
Wow, and then you just swap it out for another battery.
Yeah, like 3 of them in there. So there's almost 30 miles in there.
And you can still pedal.
Yeah.
That's a great setup.
It's so quiet.
With a fresh six-pack and a lit cigarette, he tore ass down the Greenway on his lithium-ion tricycle. For all we knew, he was the richest man on the planet.
Not a care in the world.
Holy shit, look how fast he's going.
Dude, he is flying. He could pull us to the Keys probably.
We set out again but didn't get far. 15 miles from Key West, Alex's tire finally flatted. But get this, it wasn't our sidewall repair that gave out. Still, it was time to say goodbye to this old Panaracer. We had only 15 miles left, but it felt like 100.
I think I speak for both of us when I say I could do this every day and my legs and my lungs would not give out. But my taint is a completely different story.
Our taints were in critical condition. The gruel was real.
We out here. We're getting very, very close. Yeah. Dude, that's it right there. There's the sign. We made it.
Can we go over there and take a photo?
Welcome to Key West. I'm too tired to go over. Yeah, I'm too tired to go over there and take a photo.
Yeah.
Yeah, screw that. We're in Key West.
It didn't feel real. On Wednesday morning, we left my house in Fort Lauderdale on our bicycles to find ourselves 90 miles from Cuba 2 days later.
These are Key West pigeons. They're friggin' everywhere.
Is this the ball?
I don't know. There are no street signs.
It sure looks like it's a ball.
Freaking made it, dude.
Congrats. Crushed.
Not bad. It's not too sweet.
Probably the most deserved margarita I've ever had.
This is one of the best margaritas I've ever had, actually.
Alex had the sense to bring flip-flops. I actually got up during our meal and bought flip-flops at the adjacent store. The cheapest ones they had were $40, but taking off my shoes was priceless. We pedaled to Key West for the experience, the journey. Maybe it wasn't the most enjoyable journey, but we had a lot to show for it.
Dude, there is a fish swimming like in your beard.
It's coral.
Dude. The fish is like...
I don't know where there is some.
There's just a fish like in your hair.
This is hilarious. It doesn't want to leave.
You learn the most when you encounter some adversity. You'll never tell an interesting story about the time you rode the bike lane without incident, or the time you reserved the campsite and stayed there without a problem.
There he goes! now it's your problem.
Whether you're a mountain biker, a road biker, hiker, climber, or whatever, it really is about the journey and the things you encounter along the way. Thanks for riding with me today, and I'll see you next time. That was,
For sure the worst decision we've ever made.
Well, so you know what's funny is like people summit actual mountains and like go on actual hard road rides, and we were basically like riding through the suburbs for a couple of days, but it's hard to convey through video how much discomfort involved.
Yeah, on paper it seems super not epic, but given the context of everything, like me having just dislocated the shoulder out in Arkansas,
How poorly prepared we were.
how poor I was in general, just you can't understand how much of an adventure it was without understanding how tightly constrained we were.
You know what's funny is at the time, I was still a web developer at the time, and so I was taking phone calls at the side of the road and like checking my email and stuff.
That's something that never made its way into the video. He was
Yeah.
actually still working a job. We would stop for 30 minutes randomly, and he would get on a phone with a client.
And at the time, I remember thinking, oh my God, what it would be like to be as free as Alex. But now looking back, I haven't been that free I have 2 toddlers right now. Like I'm not free for a moment of the day. And looking back on it, I was so free, and yet I thought I was constrained.
We were both very free. It was just you and me, and we were on a mission. The only reason that we did this in the first place is because I was going insane rehabbing my shoulder injury, because you can't exactly be living on a road out of your car where your bike's going on your roof when you've just dislocated your shoulder.
But was it really that fun? Like
No, it was not fun
It
at
was
all.
type 2 fun.
It was 1000%. It was type 2 fun.
And if you're not familiar with what type 2 fun is, it's the type of fun that was not actually fun at the time, but you would never go back and erase it.
It was like some decent amount of time after the holidays that I was still in Florida rehabbing, but it wasn't winter coolness. It was hot.
It was like 80 and humid at night.
Yeah.
In the
oh my
tent.
gosh. And that was to this day the worst night of camping I've ever had in my life in that tent.
So we probably got, I don't know,
2.
barely any sleep, and we
Yeah.
rode the rest of the way to Key West, but I thought I was sleep deprived. Now I know the real definition of sleep deprivation. It adds up over 2 years of sleep deprivation. But when it comes to type 2 fun, when it comes to experiences that were difficult at the time, would you go back and undo any of them?
No. There were some pretty bad moments on this trip
Yeah.
that get levity injected into them thanks to the videos, but when it was late at night and we're hitting that one road where I'm like, this is way too dangerous, that was a huge bummer. We had already made like a couple wrong turns. We were not happy. And that morning where we hit the Walmart and found that there were no tires, and then there were no tires within like a 20-mile radius, we were both very frustrated, but you were especially frustrated because it wasn't your bike. Understandably.
Yeah, I was like, all you would have had to do is order like a $15 tire on Amazon. We wouldn't have this problem.
Yeah, you were. Seth was remarkably patient, and mind you, we didn't know each other at the time as well as we do now.
We had been in a couple of little things together, but like I was like, this guy is a liability. But
we had known each other under a year at this point, man.
Those are the types of experiences that bond two people.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking like, man, we kind of owed this trip to the blossoming friendship that became, because you don't make it through a trip like that if you don't get along with someone.
We call that type 2 fun, type B fun, and
only type 1 fun for them.
Yeah, it's type 1 fun for you because you just get to watch the treachery, but maybe we'll do it again someday when I have a little bit more freedom.
You got to be careful with saying that because they all want that already. So
Yeah.
you're gonna fuel the fire for the comments. People have never stopped asking for another bikepacking trip, so careful there.
If you were still watching both our channels back when that happened, leave a comment below, and thanks for riding with me today. I'll see you next time.